am so excited to say that I feel 1,000,000 times better. And not only that, I'm going out tonight. I thought I was going to miss this event. It's been booked for months and I just thought I can't go while I'm ill and spread the germs around everybody, and I wouldn't enjoy it anyway if I was poorly, but I'm going out tonight. So what better day to film the final part of the Best of 2025 series, full face of affordable favourites. I've already done my full face of ultimate favourites. Some of those products were also affordable, so they will be featuring in this video as well, but we're going to crack on. We're going to crack on, get on with it, get this look finished and transform this into something that looks more party worthy. First up, I'm going to do brows, and this will be exactly the same two products that I used in my full face of ultimate favourites, because these are my ultimate favourites and they are also affordable. The E.L.F brow laminating gel and also the FYNE Fine Strokes brow pen in the shade Soft Taupe. The E.L.F laminating brow gel has superior hold. It really does stick the brows where you want them, whether you want them fluffy or whether you want them laminated back to the surface of the skin, which is how I prefer them, but you can do it both ways with this formula. I'm probably on my 3rd or 4th bottle of this. It's just superb. I don't want to try any more brow gels. Why bother trying any more brow gels when this one is absolute perfection and it's affordable? I mean, I've no idea. I am going to set my brows using the BEAUTYPIE Wonderfilter Magic Blurring Loose Powder in the shade See-Through. This will just remove any excess residue from any of the skincare that I've already applied this morning, just to make sure that the Fine Strokes brow pen in Soft Taupe is able to stick to those brow hairs, stick to the skin without any slip in the background, preventing it from sticking. This pen is the perfect happy medium for any brow fan. If you really struggle to create those very fine brow-like strokes on your brows, if you've got an unsteady hand, I would urge you to try this. It's got the right amount of rigidity on the fork prong end, so it makes it very, very easy to apply the product to the inner corner of the brow. And then it's got a really nice felt tip pen, very fine end, so that you can add any detail in that you want to have. I just think this is a genius pen. I've seen pens like it numerous times before. It's not revolutionary, but the way that this is designed and the flexibleness of this product makes it in a category of its own. Favourite affordable primer has to go to the Maybelline Poreless Jelly Primer. This is really hydrating, but it's also blurring, and I haven't really found one, whether that be in the luxury market or the affordable market, that does both of those things. Either it's blurring and it's mattifying and actually quite drying, or it's hydrating and glowy. You never really get hydrating and blurring together, but Maybelline have managed it. I'm just going to use 1 pump of the jelly primer all over my face, missing out my under eyes. There is a reason for that, and I'll go on to that in just a second. I'm also going to take the tiniest bit extra and go on my eyelids. This is a great eyeshadow primer if you're not wanting any sort of colour correction. So it's really smoothing. It helps to plump everything out with that hydration, and yeah, I just absolutely love it. This is not a heavy primer. This is so lightweight, very gel-like consistency. It's very stiff when you first get it out of the tube, but it melts into the skin and it's just weightless. I love it. Now, the reason I didn't apply any primer underneath my eyes is I'm going to go in with the Volufiline from The Ordinary and just tap that underneath. I usually do this first thing in the morning with the rest of my skincare. However, I didn't do that on my last video, and I just thought my under eyes were better for it. So I did apply some this morning, and I'm just applying the tiniest bit more underneath my eyes to prime them before I do concealer. I'm going to give that plenty of time to sit underneath my eyes before I apply anything over the top, so let's go on to eyes. Taking some of the SEPHORA Best Skin Ever concealer, this one is in the shade 08, and I'm just going to dot that on my eyelids and just blend that out as more of a discoloration targeter, so that I can lay my eyeshadow down on a blank canvas without any of that discoloration poking through. It's a really nice shade, this. I'm not quite sure if this will be my shade for underneath my eyes. I generally don't use affordable concealers. Not that I think any of them are bad, it's just that my favourite concealer, my ultimate favourite concealer is quite a high-end concealer, and I never reach for anything else. So it's going to be interesting today to have a full face of makeup and use an affordable concealer. This one is superb. It's very, very lightweight. It's really good at being built up. It sticks down to the skin. It looks like skin. It melts into the skin so it doesn't sit on the surface. There's nothing not to like about this product. So I've used the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer on my eyelids. I may use something slightly different underneath my eyes. Still affordable. But, you know, watch this space. Maybe I'll use the same. I don't know. Haven't made my mind up yet. It's not set in stone. Again, I am just dusting over the top of that concealer to set everything in place and make sure there's no damp spots on my eyelids before I go in with eyeshadow. Same powder, the BEAUTYPIE Wonderfilter loose powder. It's just, it's unreal, this stuff. I mean, it's only affordable if you have a BeautyPie membership. If you pay BeautyPie every single year, you get access to really luxury products for a fraction of the cost, more affordable pricing. So I'm sort of cheating a little bit. You do have to have a subscription to BeautyPie to get your hands on this, but it is affordable to me. Anyway, because I have a subscription and I pay for it every single year. I am in love with this palette and I use it all the time. This is the Flickering Sands palette from Morphe. It's just delicious. It's the right amount of neutral versus warm. There are cooler toned palettes to choose from if cooler tones are more your jam, but I like to warm my eye look up a little bit, and these shadows are warm enough but neutral enough that they don't make you look orange or have a reddy undertone that's going to make your eyes look a little bit bloodshot. So I'm going to go straight in, if I can hold it open, straight into this shade here, which is the most beautiful transition shade. It's so, so subtle. These sorts of shadows are not shadows that are going to frighten you with pigment. They're not pressed pigments, but they're easy to build. And because they're not pressed pigments, they're also incredibly easy to blend out and look very, very natural. I mean, I could just go out with this. It's just a tiny bit of definition, a tiny bit of shadow, but it looks natural. It doesn't look like I've got loads of eyeshadow on my eyes. I'm then going to take this slightly deeper shade of brown and just dab that on that outer edge. I'm not adding too much of this. I don't want it to look harsh. I still want it to look quite a natural look. We're going to add a bit of zhuzh in the center with a bit of sparkle, not from this palette, from another absolutely hands down favorite of mine, and it's super affordable, in just a minute, but I just want to deepen up that outer corner a little bit. Before I go in with any sparkle, I'm going to cover the lid with this lovely creamy matte. This is just such a lovely shade. It's not white, so it's not going to make you look quite scary and surprised. Bit of an aggravated look. It's just a really nice natural tone that's just going to brighten up that lid space, which is going to sit really nicely with the glitter over the top. Take my brush, blend everything in, just make sure there are no harsh edges. I'm going to do liner first before sparkle. There's a method in my madness, I'm not quite sure what it is, but for me it works. It just works. It really does. I've got Ralph on the floor over there. I don't think he's going to come and say hello during this video. He's quite settled on the floor, but he was sniffing at the door earlier on, so I let him in and he didn't go and sit in his space on the sofa. I bought him a space on the sofa so that he would be in my videos, but he prefers the floor. Rude. Come on, come on. Come and say hello. No, I was going to show you his bum. Okay. I'm going to say hi. Say hi. Hi. You going with Seth? Come on then. Come on. Come on in. Go on, Seth. You almost got to see Seth then as well, but he's grown up a lot in the last few years, and he no longer wants to be in Mum's videos, so I'm not cool enough anymore for that. So at least you got to see Ralph, and then he's disappeared and gone and played with Seth, who is off college today, so he's got a bit of company. I'm going to take this mid-brown shade and use this as a liner. I'm just going to stamp that on using my Refer 29 brush. Again, my favourite brush that Refer do. No, all of the brushes in this video are not affordable, in fact quite far from it, but it's not that I would say I don't want to waste my money on affordable brushes. I'm sure there are affordable brushes out there that are absolutely superb, but I already have superb brushes, and I'd rather spend my money testing out makeup products and skincare products and investing my money there to share my experiences with you rather than brushes. So yeah, I haven't invested in any affordable brushes this year. If you do have any affordable brush recommendations though, please pop them in the comment section and I will try and take a look at those for next year. Like I said in my previous video, my way of doing a winged liner with eyeshadow is not a precise art. You can be really clumsy with your fingers because I'm going to blend this out and smudge it out a little bit, make it look a bit more messy afterwards anyway. But first of all, let's put this to one side, pick up a little bit of sparkle, and then we'll go back in and smudge out the liner once I have a bit more glitz and glam and Hollywood on my eyelids. This is one of the Crystal Jelly Glaze sticks from SHEGLAM. It's in the shade Golden Girl, which is my favourite shade that they do. I just think it's universal. So many people will get to use this and it looks superb on their eyelids. Now, once again, I'm gonna reiterate this. I will say it until I am blue in the face. This comes with a plastic cap. Do not throw away the plastic cap. It is needed to keep the product sealed so that it doesn't dry out. And although this is super affordable, you don't want to have to throw this away. I mean, it's just too good to throw away. So I like to either dab this straight onto the lid, which you can totally do, or pop a bit on your finger and apply it like that. So I'm going to do both ways just to show you how easy this is to apply. So that is finger application. You can be really precise with this though, with dabbing it in place. I don't like swiping it because it is very jellified and large chunks of this will deposit on the eyelid if you try and swipe. So it's so cooling and calming on the eyelid. Because of that gel-like feeling, it just feels so comforting. So if you have irritated skin, this is like having an ice pack on your eye for a few split seconds before it warms up to your skin's temperature. It's just beautiful. Now that's one layer of the product. You can build this up though if you want a little bit more va-va-va-voom. I'm going to do both eyes and then we'll build it up a little bit more so I can share with you how far this will go. Okay, so that is one coat. We're just going to build this up a little bit more on this side so you can see the difference. If you really do want to go Hollywood glam, then you can definitely do that. I would let each individual layer dry down before you apply any more, but literally just tapping over the eye has such a beautiful effect. I could do this all day because it's just so comfortable on my eyelid. This will set in place as well, so it's not one of those products that migrates into my crinkles and wrinkles. Look at that. Look, just wow. Look at that. So it depends on how far you want to take this. If you feel like you've overdone it slightly, then you can always use your finger and just massage that and blend away on the eyelid just to smooth that out a little bit. Look, I love it. I'm gonna go back into the medium brown shade and just make sure that that edge is well defined, and then I'm going to go in and blend the liner that I applied earlier on just to make sure it's really nice and smudgy, which again is perfect for those of you without a steady hand, because this is supposed to be a mess. So again, medium brown shade, and I'm just going to go over the top of that with short strokes and just wing it out a bit. Just put pressure on it. You don't need to do anything spectacular. A little bit of pressure messes it out, smudges it out. You still get that wing, but it's less defined, and I just love that effect. Favorite affordable foundation of 2025? There were so many contenders, and I narrowed it down to the one that I reach for the most, because I mean, it's got to be my favorite, hasn't it? If I reach for it the most, this suits the majority of my needs. It's the Kind and Free Blur It Out from Rimmel. This is brand new to me. I'm not quite sure if it was brand new in 2025. I do think that it was, but brand new to me in 2025. I've gone for the shade 103 True Ivory, which also suits my mum because she got one to try for herself. I'm not quite sure if she's having as much success with it as me, but you will know by now, because if she is having as much success with it as me, she would have mentioned it in her favourites video, which if you haven't seen that, I will link the playlist at the end of this video. So this I love for so many reasons. The consistency and texture of this is super smooth and really, really lightweight. And although this is a skin tint, it gives coverage. It really does give good coverage. So you're not going to get full coverage out of this, but it's not going to go on like a really sheer coverage, which you would expect from a skin tint. So I like to apply this with a brush, and I go straight in between my brows and then go around my brows just to map them out so I'm not disturbing any of the products that I've already used. And then I'm going to use a larger brush for the rest of my face. Now you can use a sponge with this, you can also use your fingers with this. It's multi-dimensional, and I love the airbrushing qualities of this. In fact, when I first used it, that was the thing that seriously blew me away. I mean, it just makes my skin look beautiful, really beautiful. It still looks like my skin, but it looks like a better version of my skin, which who doesn't want? You can use this underneath your eyes, or that is my experience. I don't do that though. For obvious reasons, I like to apply as little product underneath my eyes as possible, because that means it's going to last longer throughout the day with less creasing, so it's going to look much, much better for much, much longer. But I do like to do the corners of my eyes where I would generally apply concealer, but this is just how I've started to do it since using this product, and it's working well for me. Like I said, you can apply this with all sorts of tools, sponge, fingertips, brush, and I just want to show you on this side of my face how blurring and airbrushing this actually is. The tone and the shade of this is perfect, absolutely perfect. Without, with. It's still got that level of radiance to it. It will dry down and have a little less radiance to it, but it's super airbrushing without being drying. That is the major kicker here for me, and what makes a massive difference. This plays well with my dry areas of my skin. It also plays well with my oilier areas of my skin. I don't dislike anything about this product, apart from maybe the packaging. You know, I don't really like aqua. I'm being really picky. There's both sides done. You can still see my skin poking through this. I would say I've got a light medium coverage. You can build this up if you want to, but if you do build it up, just be warned, it's not going to last as long as it would do if you just left it how it was intended. So I'm going to leave it like this today with me going out on the town and all that. So yeah, I just adore it. I think it is one of the most flattering foundations I have ever had on my skin. This is affordable, I have tried foundations that were over £100 before. This, still my favourite. Favourite affordable concealer. I've already shared with you one of my favourites, the Sephora Best Skin Ever. I didn't know whether I was going to put this underneath my eyes. I'm going to share with you another favourite, which was last year's favourite, I think. In fact, this may have been last year's favourite and the year before's favourite. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. This is from CATRICE, and it's the Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. It is definitely high coverage, it is smoothing, it's quite airbrushing, it's not overly drying. I have two shades of this, 020 and 010. I do tend to mix these two together, but I'm just going to go in first and foremost with 020 because I've got a feeling that might be all I need today. Go in with my Nikki LaRose N16 brush, and I'm going to use the tiniest amount. I've started using such a small amount of concealer on my face just because it wears so much better, and I'm finding that with my added skincare routine, with the benefits of that, I'm not needing as much concealer anymore. I mean, look at that. The tiniest amount goes such a long way. I'm just dabbing that so carefully and lightly underneath the eye. I'm not going all the way up to the lower lash line because I don't need to. I am going to put a tiny bit of the eyeshadow underneath there to add a bit more dimension, but difference, really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I'm going to let that dry down, then I'm going to add another layer over the top, but only in the areas that I need it. So I have only used the shade 020. I didn't need to mix any of the 010 in, so just one product underneath the eyes. Superb, creamy, smoothing, dries down really quickly. It's a beautiful formula, and I know this is going to last me all evening regardless of how much dancing I do. This is still going to be on at the end of the night. Favourite affordable mascara. This has been difficult for me. So while I'm explaining, I will just curl my lashes using the Refa eyelash curler in 18R. So I've got a couple of favourite mascaras that are affordable. I've tried loads this year that are very nice, but didn't really wow me. So I would say my favourite affordable mascara is either the Firework Mascara from Maybelline or the L'Oreal Paradise Mascara, the original. So I looked for the Paradise Mascara and mine had dried out, and I really do want some sort of volume on my lashes this evening. I don't have a Firework Mascara that is going to be good enough to use, so I bought the Paradise Big Deal waterproof mascara, and I'm hoping it's going to do a good enough job. But my favourite would be the original Paradise Mascara from L'Oreal. Oh, this is nice. Okay, this is an impressive mascara. I'm not taking anything away from it, but it is not my favourite Lash Paradise mascara, and I wish I'd bought the right one now. But I mean, I'm glad I've tried this, but yeah, it was a bit of a faux pas picking up the wrong one. The reason that this is totally different is this is quite a wet formula, whereas the Lash Paradise original is a really quite creamy, thick formula. The bristles on the brush of the original are really thick and chunky. This one's more of a synthetic brush, which is usually more my cup of tea, but in this instance, it's not. The Lash Paradise mascara also layers beautifully well because it has that bristly wand, whereas this one is struggling to build on the second coat. It's not really gliding through the lashes. It's more trying to get in there, but it's struggling. So it is taking a little bit longer to get through the lashes on the second coat. Really long though. Really long. It is voluminous. I will use this again, so I am glad that I bought it, but for the purposes of this video, this isn't my favourite affordable mascara. The original Lash Paradise is. So I apologise for getting the wrong one, not being organised, but I mean, it's quite nice. It's quite nice. Let's bronze me up a bit and make me look more like the goddess that I actually am. Making myself chuckle now. That's the worst kind of laugh. I apologise. This is the RIMMEL Multitasker 3-in-1 bronzing stick. I have the shade Medium, which is going to look too dark on camera. I know it's going to look too dark. It's going to look rather frightening before we start blending it out, and then it's all going to come together. So there is method to my madness. Just bear with. It's actually a really nice shade. This is... You can use this as a contour, you can also use this as a bronzer. It's more on the neutral end, so it is bronzy, but it's not going to give you that really punch of warm. So that's why I really, really like it. I'm gonna take a little bit down the neck and then show you how easy this is to blend. I mean, take my foundation brush, so it does still have a little bit of the foundation on it, but it took seconds, absolute seconds. Now if you want a real blend, like, so you can't really notice it, you just spend a little bit longer blending it into the skin. But this is a really nice thick but creamy consistency. It's not overly wet, but it's also not overly dry, which is why it blends into the skin so effortlessly well. I hope everyone can get this in your neck of the woods, but you can pick it up in the UK, in Boots, in Superdrug, so many places. Also online, I think I've linked it to Look Fantastic, because you'll probably be able to get some extra discount using my code on there. But yeah. Well worth it and super, super affordable. I almost forgot to do my nose contour, which would have absolutely killed me by the end of the day, because I'd been looking at myself thinking, something's not quite right. What have I missed? You know when you have days like that, when you're just constantly looking at yourself in a reflection thinking, what have I not done? Sometimes it's I've forgotten mascara. Sometimes I've forgotten to do my brows. It's the perimenopause head, it really is. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Face Sculptor in the shade Medium, I think it is. Yes, Medium Contour. And I am just going to do exactly the same as I did in my full face of Ultimate Favourites. And just have two thin lines. I'm just going to, oh, look at that, it's pretty properly wonky now, but draw a couple of straight lines-ish down the centre of my nose, which will make my nose appear slightly straighter than it actually is, because, as I've said in previous videos, it's on the wonk. I've broken it twice when I was younger, did not have it surgically fixed, and I'm too frightened to get it surgically fixed now. So you don't need to have a steady hand for this to make a difference. So once again, taking my Ref 35 brush, and I'm just going to pat this in place. You can use your fingertips with this, but you can also use a brush, you can use a sponge. But I've found that if using a sponge, it does bleed out from where you actually want it. So I think brush or fingertips is probably the best method of application. It's a little deep for me at the moment. My nose does stand out because it's deeper than the rest of my face, but it will all come together, I promise you. I apologise to everybody who cannot get their hands on this at this moment in time. This is probably, let me just have a look. Will it be my favourite product out of everything I'm using today? Possibly. Possibly. I just think this is such a beautiful, well-rounded product. It is luxury quality with an affordable price tag. I have a couple of blushes that I've fallen in love with in 2025, so the blushes that I'm using in this video are definitely not the same blushes as I used in my full face of affordable favourites of 2024. Some of the products are the same because I haven't found better alternatives, but first up, we have MCO Beauty Soft Matte Beauty Wand in the shade Cosmopolitan. I love this. I am going to team it, I think, with another blush over the top of it, because although this is beautiful, it's probably not going to be punchy enough for my evening out. I would usually wear this on its own, so I'm going to apply this first. It is a sponge product, very much like the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty ones. However, this has less pigmentation, so you don't need to be frightened of this. You can go in quite heavy-handed and not have to worry. Very much like the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty ones, this is very easy to blend out. Look at that shade. How beautiful is that shade? It's like a warm coral. It's got a hint of pink in it. It's got a hint of that lovely warmth to it, but it's not overbearing. I have applied the entire lot onto my face. You can apply this directly to the skin. I wouldn't actually recommend that you apply the Charlotte Tilbury wand in that way because it is quite frighteningly pigmented, but because this one isn't, it's not going to last you as long as the Charlotte Tilbury wand, but I really like this shade. In fact, I probably prefer it to the Charlotte Tilbury shades that she has on offer. It does say this is matte. It's not matte. It does have some sheen on it, so it doesn't look flat. This looks very beautiful, very flattering, very natural on my skin. Absolutely adore it. I think that's probably going to be enough of this shade. I may, if I was just wearing this, go over with a second round of the product, just because, you know, I've always liked a lot of blush. If you know me, you know me. Nothing wrong with that, but I am going to apply a little bit of powder blush over the top just to seal that in place, although it doesn't really need sealing because it will last all day. But yeah, just because I want. That's it. I'm going to apply this over the top because I want. It's a great blush. Also affordable. This is the Bouncy Blur Blush, mouthful to say, from Revolution, and this is a cream to powder blush. It blends beautifully into the skin. It just melts into the skin. This does have a little bit of iridescence to it. It's got a bit of zhuzh, a little bit of radiance to it. So this is called Light as a Cloud Peachy Pink. So I'm going to take my brush, and I'm going to take a really large fluffy brush for this because this one is quite pigmented, so I don't want to get too much on my skin. Just going to dab that in, and because this is pigmented, just dab off any excess and start on the high points first and work my way down. So I don't want to overdo it on the apples of my cheeks, but I do want to add a little bit more on the tops. That is stunning. Oh, this is why blush is my thing. It makes such a difference. Huge, huge difference. I thought I'd forgotten to press record then, and I was just about to cry. I did not. I did not forget today. I'm doing well. Hasn't happened yet. The colour isn't massively different to the shade Cosmopolitan in the MCO Beauty Blush Wand, but this just adds a little bit more radiance, which I think for an evening look is very, very pretty. Yes! My concealer has not creased, it has not moved, it's just sat where I put it. It looks melted into the skin. There is no need to actually powder this in place. It is a waterproof concealer, however, because I'm going out tonight and I do want the longevity. I don't want to be looking in a mirror or anything in one of those really awfully lit bathrooms and look an absolute mess because, you know, standard and all that, it probably will happen, but let's just give it a little bit of hope. Dipping into my BEAUTYPIE loose powder, and I'm just going to dot that underneath the eyes, and then I'm going to go in with a powder puff. Really important you stipple this on with a really fluffy brush first to get into all the crinkles and the wrinkles, and then you're not just setting over the top of the wrinkles, you're getting really deep down into those wrinkles. So the inside of the wrinkle is also not going to crease, as well as the outside of the wrinkle. I mean, that's the method to my madness. Then I'm going to press it in with a powder puff. This powder puff is from Studio London, which I think is a Superdrug exclusive, but I have them from Trigwell Cosmetics. I've got them from all. I mean, they're so nice. They really are beautiful, and they give you the best finish underneath your eyes. Every single one that I own is affordable. I don't use a really expensive one. There's no need. There's no need. Just gonna take a tiny little bit of that deep brown shade in the Morphe Flickering Sands palette and really tap off all the excess. The only thing I can think of that isn't as good as a luxury palette, I mean, it's better than some luxury palettes, but not all of them, is that this does have a little bit of fallout when you're applying it to the eye. And as I've already done my makeup on my cheeks, I really don't want to have to clean that up and redo. So just going to apply a tiny bit to that outer quarter of the eye just to bring everything together. I've also popped a bit of the Paradise Big Deal Waterproof Mascara from L'Oreal on those lower lashes. Very easy to apply. I just tapped that in place. It was very, very easy actually. A really lovely mascara to apply to those lower lashes, and it's not too va-va-va-voom, va-va-va-voom, that it makes me feel a little lower lash heavy. So yeah, I like that. I do like that. It's not all bad. Favorite affordable lip products. So my top lip has completely disappeared with all of the makeup. I really need to make it stand out a little bit more. I've lost a lot of lip pigment as I've got older, and I have a naturally small top lip anyway, which is a real bugbear of mine. But anyway, we move. This product from NYX is stupendously good. This is the Lip Lingerie Lip Liner Stain. I have this in all sorts of different shades, but this one is the shade Steamy Spice LLLS04. The results of this are superb, seriously good. The one little niggle that I have, and it is a very little niggle, because there is a tiny little ball on the end of this so that it's precise, very much like a ballpoint pen. You have to make sure that your lips are completely clean of the rest of your makeup. So any concealer, any foundation, because the foundation will gather on this little ball and stop the pigment from actually being dispensed from the pen. So sometimes it can take a little longer than others, but if you remember to clean your lips before you lay this down, you should be absolutely fine. It's just, you know, I forgot today, so it took a little bit longer and I did have to clean the end of the pen. My fault entirely, but so precise. This is not going to budge throughout the entire evening. I can eat and drink whatever I want. It will go nowhere. My lipstick, however, will. So I'm just going to fill in a little bit of the edges to contour my lips a tiny little bit, and then we'll move on to lipstick. I'm a huge fan of the Revlon Super Lustrous lipsticks. This one is in the shade 044 Bare Affair. It's so silky smooth. It's like a satin finish. It's not overly shiny, but it's also not matte. It's not drying at all. It's really quite nourishing and hydrating on my lips. And yeah, I just think it's really comfortable to wear and so easy to reapply without a mirror. I mean, you could do this absolutely anywhere. Look how stunning that is. I am going to glaze it over with a lip oil though, because you cannot have one of these videos of my favourite affordable products without featuring the L'Oreal Plump Ambition Hyaluron Lip Oil. It's just not going to be, it's not going to be done. It cannot be heard of. No, it's not happening. So this one is in my favourite shade, Latte Glacé 641. And I love the thickness of this, the whole consistency, the texture, the way it makes my lips feel. I also love the flavour. It's like a Murray Mint. A Murray Mint's still around. Like a sweet, chewy mint. Really pretty. So pretty. Just brings everything together. I may add the tiniest bit more blush when I have my hair down, but we'll see, I'll tell you in a minute. That's it All of my favourite affordable products in one face of makeup. And actually this year I think we've done quite well, because not every single favourite product naturally, tonally goes together in one face of makeup. So sometimes things look a little bit off, but actually I really like this look and I think it all goes together, and I'm really excited to take it out with me later on and dance the night away on a Wednesday evening, because you know, I'm a rebel. I really hope you've enjoyed this series as much as I've enjoyed filming it for you. Please let me know what you thought about it in the comments section. If you are bored of it now, please also let me know. If you've got any ideas for me for next year, also let me know in the comments section. Have you tried any of these products? Do you like them? Do you not get on with them? Have your say in the comments. Also, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Happy New Year, everybody. I completely forgot at the beginning of this video that it will be New Year now where you are. This is Gemma from the past signing off. I'm still in 2025 in mid-December. I hope you've had an amazing holiday. I hope you've had the best New Year. See you in the future.